Hello and welcome to part 1 of my 12 first volumes of Christmas manga challenge, where I'm just going to review all of the manga that I am reading for my challenge. This is the challenge template. You can also find it over on my Instagram, or feel free to follow me and join the challenge. You have the whole month of December left and plenty of time to read. They do not have to be first volumes. They do not have to be manga. That's just simply what I am reading for the most part. There might be like a webtoon or a manhwa in there, you never know. And I'm simply going to go through which ones I read this week so far. And I read 4, that is the number I'm shooting for, so I can touch on 4 for each weekend. So yeah, just grab yourself a little cozy beverage. It just snowed for the first time, which is very late where I live, but it's perfect weather to curl up with a cup of tea and listen to me blab about manga. Honestly, I read pretty much all good things. I can't really say I found a real stinker. I will go from my least favorite to my most favorite, but first, some honorable mentions. So these are not part of the challenge, but if you do not follow me on TikTok, shout out to my TikTok, or plugging my TikTok, I guess, which I hardly ever remember to do on here. But if you want more manga reviews, more just random uploads from me, then go follow me on TikTok. But on there, I am reviewing all the extra manga as well as the manga for my prompts. I'm trying to read 25 first volumes over on TikTok, so I'll be talking about quite a few more. And if you're not on TikTok, you don't want to be on TikTok, I don't blame you. Old millennial here going, I don't know what to do on TikTok, but I'm trying. But I just thought I would quickly give you a little thing about the rest that I read, because I don't feel like doing the reels that I tried to do last. It was just a mess because I only get a minute to do them. So anyway, all that to say, I read Semantic Error. This was gifted to me by Eyes Press, and I am so thankful again, so grateful. I super loved the webtoon. I really didn't have any doubt in my mind that I wouldn't love this Korean webtoon, because I loved the Korean live action drama, which I mentioned in my haul video. Go check my haul video out if you want to see everything else that I got last month in the month of November. Just plugging everything today. Yeah, so anyway, this is kind of enemies to lovers BL situation, and it's so stinking good. I love the characters just as much as their live action counterparts. I mean, there's the cold, stoic, rule-following, no-nonsense character, and there's the more free-spirited, kind of more emotional character. And he's not like a bully or mean, but he is a little miffed that Sangwoo here left his name off the final presentation and he couldn't graduate, which I'd be a little miffed too. And he decides to do some harmless yet very annoying things to get under Sangwoo's skin, and that just you know, where it goes from there. But it's super soft and very silly, and I love it, so highly recommend. And if you're in the mood for some hetero romance, I guess, I read 2 that were both perfectly sweet, a little bit spicy, and yeah, good times. First up, we have Yonoi Tsukihiko's Happy Hell. This is a josei romance, and their grandparents want them to get together and try to, you know, have them go on a blind date, but she believes in marrying for love and he doesn't believe in love, so conflict. This isn't a steamship title, but it has some spicy scenes. You just don't get like full coverage, but who cares about that? It's still a good time. Still very nice. And it is just a good romance. It's very cheesy romance, very cliche heavy, I guess. It like ticks all the boxes, but the art is nice. The guy is hot. And I liked their opposites attract, grumpy and sunshine trope. it worked for me. What can I say? And the other one, though a little tamer, still kind of, I guess, flirting with spice. We have Medaka Kuroiwa is impervious to my charms. I did, if you watched my video about this challenge, say I was going to read this as my most anticipated read because 2 people recommended it to me, but I think I'm going to be reading the After God one for that one. Not gonna lie. This one was sweet, it was cute. She is trying all the flirtatious things in the book to get this guy to acknowledge her, fall for her. She's mad thirsty. And usually I don't like that, but because she's doing it not because she has feelings for him per se, or she's at least denying any feelings she may have for him by the end of this volume, she just can't stand that a guy isn't falling at her feet. So I like that take on it. It's funny. It wasn't my favorite read, but if you are in the mood for a different fan servicey kind of rom-com, then this one could be up your alley. I did enjoy it. Not gonna lie. Now onto the manga we're really here to talk about, and please let me know down below if you are joining in on the challenge and you just don't want to post on Instagram and everything, which is totally fine. Just let me know what you're reading, which prompts you picked what volumes for, and what ones you've read so far. So I'm really curious and excited to hear all about them. But yeah, by the way, you can go in any order, doesn't matter. I did go kind of in order, but then I completely skipped around. That's also something I forgot to mention. But I'll start with the one that I like the least, I guess. I like to end in the most positive note, I guess. And the one I liked the least is Kiruru Kill Me. So this was my red cover pick, and lots of red. Love this color. And I really liked Kiruru. She is smoking. All the title pages with her, just mwah, perfect. I really like that the like kind of narrator of the book, which is unusual for a manga, but like there's what I would refer to as a narrator throughout, kind of pointing out all the stupid and ridiculous behavior that Oi Nemo exhibits. Quite frankly, I don't know how else to put it. He is a freak. He wants Kiruru's attention, and once finding out she is a assassin, he puts out a hit on himself just so he can get closer to her without yet letting her kill him. It's a balancing act. It's ridiculous, very comedy heavy. So if you're in the mood for like a more action comedy and then romance, obviously it was a fun time. Like, I'm not saying I hated this by any means, but it was the weakest contender on the list. It is just balls to the wall weird. And I think part of it is just Nemo's personality. I get that he's an awkward dude, never been in a relationship type of guy, but with all the money and resources in the world, so he decides this is the best plan because he's a businessman, he knows business. So getting closer to her through her business, which would lead to his death, is logical in some way to him. And I think Kiruru being as cute and innocent and just irritated about not being able to kill this weirdo is the best part of this volume by far. And it did make me smile and stuff. Like the last chapter of this. Literally, this is a direct quote. Of course, Kiruru was completely unaware that on that day, billions of yen nearly changed hands, all thanks to the power of her butt. So yeah, I still think I'm gonna get the second volume because I saw it at my manga store for half off. So if it's still there, I'm gonna pick it up. I didn't dislike it by any means. It's just so over the top. It's so wacky and weird. But I could just fall more and more into these characters. And like I said, I really like Kiruru. I really like her art design. She's hot, she's smoking, and she's a killer. So, I mean, well, technically she's a killer in training because she hasn't killed anyone yet. Her first mark is unkillable. But, you know, she's a wannabe killer, and we stand. The part that's not working for me at the moment is the romance aspect, because I just want Kiruru here to get her first kill. Like, you go, girl. Kill them, weirdo. So I don't know if the romance is effective for me yet, but I will keep reading it for my girl Kiruru here. Next up, we have another comedy heavy one. Although I like this one even more than that one, it's still a bit wackadoo too. And that is Uncle from Another World. I read this one for the very first prompt in the challenge, which is one that's been on my TBR for a long time, or whatever, however it's phrased. And this one's been on my TBR since last December because I was really reticent to read it. My friend gifted it to me. He really, really likes it. And I was just like, what if I don't like it at all? Because it seems weird. And it is weird, but in a really appealing way. Like, this one, even more than Kiruru Kill Me, made me chuckle out loud, like giggle to myself like a weirdo as I read. And I really gotta say I appreciate the art in this, especially when they show the girls in from the fantasy worlds. They're very nice. And yeah, so this is a isekai technically, but it's really, really rather different. Very different than any isekai I've ever read, and I gave it bonus kudo points for that. It is about Takafumi's uncle, who 17 years ago fell into a coma and has now just awakened. And he goes to the hospital to see his uncle, and his uncle is claiming for the last 17 years he was in a fantasy world. And of course he doesn't believe him. He's like, all right, whatever you say, uncle. However, he quickly finds out it's legit. He really was in a fantasy world. He can use magic now, and he shares with him like visuals of his memories from the other world, and it's all done in a very comedic way, even though he shares his time in this fantasy world was kind of torturous. He was looked down upon and attacked and threatened a lot of the times. So not a great isekai adventure. It's not a happy one anyway. But it's really funny. The uncle is not my character. But if you really like old school video games, if you like a character that's more of like that awkward shut-in, neat, not neat like tidy, but like neat like a shut-in, in Japan. If you like that type of character though, he's obsessed with Sega, and he is just a bit out there. So he will intrigue you and he will entice you. Though I would empathize with him in certain things, and he was kind of pitiable in certain regards, he would immediately do or say something that I'd be like, I can't, you're weird. Like, I'm sorry. My pity has left the building. And what got me really much more into it is actually the nephew character, Takafumi. Takafumi is like my eyes and ears in this experience, like not judging his uncle per se, but kind of like he is the inner dialogue representation of my inner dialogue. So I felt represented, and it made me enjoy it because I could laugh at the uncle's antics and stuff through this more, I guess you would call him, oh shit, what's the term from Gintama? It's the straight man. He would be the straight man of this story. And I like him a lot better than Shinpachi from Gintama. So hey. I'm sorry, Shinpachi. I can't help but dunk on you, even in such an unrelated case. But yeah, anyway, it's definitely a different take on an isekai, and I appreciated how fresh it felt, and I have the second volume in my cart right now. So again, I want to keep reading this one. It's not like second to last in terms of like I didn't enjoy myself at all with this one. I very much enjoyed myself. It's just that I enjoyed the last 2 volumes a little bit more. Okay, and second to last, or second from the top, I guess, since we're working our way to my favorite read, I wanted to read this series, and Monday's video, shout out to future Zoe and Monday's video. Hopefully you'll check that video out when it comes out this coming Monday. I really wanted to do a tier list ranking video of every complete series I read in 2024. So that's why I read this one, because this one is complete in 4 volumes, and it is A School Frozen in Time. Saving my review of the series as a whole, obviously, for Monday. So do check that out when it drops. But this first volume had everything I really, really like. Mystery, intrigue, psychological, really getting into the depths of these kids. And a little bit of this horror to it, like a little horror in the background looming. So yeah, this is a story that is centering around 8 students who arrive to school one snowy day, and it seems like just any other ordinary day, except when they realize no one else is around. There's no teacher, there's no other students. It's just them alone in the school. So then they try to leave said school, but find that's impossible. The doors will not open, the windows will not break. They are trapped inside their school. And in this the deserted school, all the clocks stopped at a very specific moment. The moment that a former classmate of theirs jumped off the school roof. So this tragedy is like the center focus of the story, and them trying to remember what classmate it was, because for some reason they just can't seem to picture them at all. So they're, you know, in a panic because they're trapped, and they are faced with themselves and their past memories in order to piece together the identity of this victim, or risk a similar fate, perhaps, that their lives could be lost and forgotten inside these frigid school walls. So yeah, it's just all things like a little creepy, suspenseful, mysterious. Like, it ticks all the boxes for me. Of course, it made it super easy to read through this 4-volume series to get to the end of it all and see who the victim was, and you know what happened, and fill in all the pieces. Super great setup in hooking me and keeping my attention. I mean, through this first volume and then all the way through, really. So yeah, had a good time with this one. And I completely almost forgot to say that it was the prompt that the cover gives winter vibes. Oh my gosh, I was meant to say that in the beginning, and I completely forgot. But yeah, this was fulfilling the prompt of winter vibes. It definitely gave winter all the way through, not just the snowflakes on the cover. Gave me that perfect winter backdrop, and I really enjoyed it. Last up, we have my favorite read, No Judging Zoe. She reads for pleasure, and this was pleasurable. I just don't want to admit what my favorite read of these were. No one will be surprised if you've been watching this channel for a while, but it was I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History. Yes, it's a shoujo isekai title, okay? It's also a villainous title, okay? Now that we've gotten the obvious out of the way, and I'm gonna collect myself. Whew, oh my gosh, it's predictable is what it is. It's predictable of me, yeah. But you would think that I would get bored. You think I would get tired of the villainous tropes, and that it would like be like a whatever to me. But this one was cute. I really enjoyed my time with it. I really liked our protagonist. Like, yeah, needless to say, this one was for my favorite genre challenge prompt, and yeah, it's my favorite genre for a reason right now. I mean, god dang, it just has like this stupid trope I never get tired of. I don't know why. If you somehow don't know because you're new to the channel, or you just have skipped every video I've talked about shoujo sei isekai, it's basically a young girl who passes in their world, then gets reborn into usually their favorite otome game, light novel, whatever, fill in the blank here, and usually as a villainess, like in this story. However, in this one, our main protagonist, who gets reborn as Alicia, who is the villainess of this fantasy dating game, is what this girl wants more than anything. All she wanted was to be a villainess, which at this point, after having consumed so many villainous type of manga, that's what I want too. I want to be reincarnated as a villainess in a fucking fantasy game. Oh my god. But yeah, so she's over the moon when she regains her memories and the memories of this game that was her favorite game, and that all she wanted to be was this villainess, and now she's this villainess. And screw the heroine, because who likes the heroines? They're so annoying and sappy and it's too nice, which agreed. But of course, Alicia is rather kind herself. She has a good heart. She just really wants everyone to see her as a wicked villainess though. And as soon as she regains her memories, she is studying the sword, studying magic, studying everything to become the ultimate villainess. And yeah, it's simple. It's not anything new. I'm not even gonna say it's changing things in the isekai realm like Uncle from Another World did. No, if you want like an actual genuinely interesting and different take on isekai, go read that one, seriously. This is not that one. This is just another cookie cutter villainous story that I loved. You can't fight what you love. What you love is what you love, okay? So, yeah. You would think that there is booze in this. I swear to God, it is just regular tea. You can see the tea bag. But I don't know if it's the snow and my Christmassy mood, but I am in a... Can't even finish my thought. I'm so like weird. Okay, we're wrapping this up. I just have to say, if you like villainous stories, just go pick this one up. It's another good one. I've only met like 2 I didn't like, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so please remember to let me know in the comments below what volumes you have read so far in December for the challenge. If you are participating, I cannot wait to hear, and let me know what you've thought of them, liked them, not liked them. I am so thankful to everyone who is participating with this challenge over on Instagram and on here, or both if you want. I mean, I'm down for a recap if you want to just let me know what you're reading down below in the comments. It does not hurt the engagement and the YouTube algorithm, so feel free to participate in both ways. And yeah, I am so excited for my Monday's tier list video. I hope to see you there. Until then, bye!